Kingdoms. Whether big or small, you'll basically always want one in Crusader Kings 3 to have a glorious throne of your own. But what kingdoms should you try to take over? Which are the strongest? Which are the best? To answer this, I've made a top 10 list. I'll be ranking kingdoms based on a few factors, such as how good their terrain is, how many de jure counties they have, as well as special buildings, development, cultures present, holy sites, and so on. Basically all the things that make a kingdom strong or weak, easy to form, or an absolute slog. Additionally, some of these kingdoms give you special modifiers for creating them, which I will also consider. Thus, let's start with Spain at number 10. Spain is an interesting kingdom in that it's not really a kingdom at all. The decision to unite the Spanish crowns allows you to de jure drift all held Iberian crowns into your main kingdom title, thus dramatically reshaping your kingdom, but without giving you a special name. If you unite Spain as Leon, it won't become Spain, just Leon, but big. This is a very interesting decision in that it allows you to have an entire empire held within a kingdom title. Iberia is an excellent region chock full of holy sites, special buildings, and strong cultures, and so it follows naturally that turning half or all of it into a kingdom makes it equivalent to many of the other special realms on our list. Of particular note are the many holy sites, with 1 for Catholicism, 1 for Muwalladism, 3 for Mozarabic, and 4 for Era Zaharic. In terms of where to make this great kingdom of Spain, I'd recommend starting with the Duchy of Barcelona and the Kingdom of Aragon, mainly because the Duchy of Barcelona has access to a university building as well as a special dry dock building. Moving on from the strange case of Spain, we go to Austria at number 9. Not present in any start date, the Archduchy of Austria is a kingdom tier title that can be formed through a special decision that requires you to control the territory of Austria, have high crown authority, and have a strong hook on the emperor of the HRE. Interestingly, you cannot form Austria if you are independent, you must be a vassal of the Holy Roman Empire. It's well worth doing so, however, as it's a great place to play tall, it has a university, and far more importantly, taking the decision instantly gives you primogeniture succession, even if you don't have the required technology. This is an excellent way to get the primogeniture succession law far ahead of schedule. You may have also noticed that right above the Kingdom of Austria is the Duchy of Bohemia, one of the absolute best duchies in the game. I thought about including the Kingdom of Bohemia on this list, but decided against it. The reason being is that I think the kingdom title of Austria is much better than the kingdom title of Bohemia, though the Duchy of Bohemia is much better than the Duchy title of Austria, if that makes any sense. And as this is a best kingdoms video, I feel it's more interesting and valuable for me to select Austria for this list, as I've already gone over the benefits of Bohemia extensively in the other video. Moving on to number 8, we have a very interesting kingdom. The Kingdom of Mann and the Isles. This one-county kingdom can only be formed by becoming a Viking raider, and then eventually taking this land over and creating the Duchy of Mann. You'll need to be a legendary figure, which is a little annoying, but once you are, you can take the decision to elevate the Kingdom of Mann and the Isles and get some absolutely insane modifiers. You'll instantly get 2,500 renown, as well as the Legacy of Piracy modifier and the Stolen City modifier. If you're not already a feudal ruler, taking this decision will also instantly switch you to feudal. Legacy of Piracy allows you to raid no matter your government type, and grants you a bonus to embarkation cost and raid speed. The Stolen City modifier, though, is far more insane. It gives a negative 200% to building time on the Isle of Man, and negative 50% building construction cost. Both these modifiers last for 100 years, and on top of all this, you also get an army of 7,500 and a heroic legend seed. With so much going for it, the Isle of Man is definitely an excellent pirate kingdom. Moving on to number 7, we go to India with Chola. While some have cited the Kingdom of Bengal as the ideal starting kingdom in India, I disagree. The Kingdom of Chola has farmland, a large cluster of special buildings, and the Deccan Empire, which it's a part of, is the easiest of the 3 big Indian empires to form. This kingdom has a Hindu as well as a Jain holy site, and starts off with an abnormally high development. With 17 de jure counties and a lot of potential, this kingdom is nothing to scoff at. Moving on to number 6, we have one of my personal favorites, Baleo Tyrrhenia. Requiring you to get the duchies of Sardinia, Corsica, Majorca, and Sicily. One of the best parts about creating this kingdom is that it's incredibly easy. The 4 duchies that you require don't have that many counties and so are easy to conquer, and unlike with the Form the Isle of Man decision, there are no special requirements for having to be anything like a Viking, nor to not having a kingdom title before making this one. This means that you could easily become King of Sardinia and then later become King of Baleo Tyrrhenia. Once you do make this kingdom, you'll get the Masters of the Mediterranean modifier, which grants you bonus development and coastal advantage, as well as claims to every single county along the Mediterranean coast. This can be made much more powerful with royal prerogative in the High Medieval era, which lets you press multiple claims at once, allowing you to steal vast swaths of coastline from your enemies, with tons of room to expand in Africa, Iberia, Italy, and basically the entire Mediterranean coast. You've got plenty of opportunity to expand this tiny realm, not to mention having a special mine and a university. And as an added bonus, if you ever find yourself inclined to join an administrative empire like Byzantium, you'll have a huge advantage to becoming emperor if you do, because the Murex fisheries give you tons of bonus influence. Murex are snails that help make purple dye, and of course, Romans love purple. Overall, this is an extremely unique and very powerful kingdom. Moving on to number 5, we go to the Kingdom of Persia. While initially having all this desert and drylands terrain might seem like a very bad thing, a quick look at the Persian culture tells you it isn't. The Persian culture, which is one of, if not the best culture in the game, provides you excellent bonuses to development, learning, and especially to development in drylands and desert. The Kingdom of Persia has 36 de jure counties, making it quite large, and is absolutely coated with special buildings. The only downside to this incredible kingdom is that most of the holy sites it has are either dualist or Zoroastrian, both of which are rather weak faiths in the 3 start dates. Moving on to number 4, we have East Francia, also known as Germany. Having 66 de jure counties in 867 and 79 de jure counties in 1066, this kingdom is absolutely massive, much bigger than some empires. Possessed of mines, a fortress, and 2 universities, owning this kingdom can help you keep a stranglehold on HRE elections, or if you're starting in 867 can be a great path to reforming the HRE. Overall, the sheer ridiculous size of this kingdom makes it worthy of consideration. Now, at number 3, we have France. Specifically, the France of 1066, as the one in 867 is divided between France proper and the Kingdom of Aquitaine. France in 1066 stands very impressive at 84 de jure counties. What puts France in the top 3, however, is not that it is simply a large kingdom. The kingdom title of France has 2 unique gameplay mechanics associated with it. The first is the Opus Francigenum, a decision available in the High Medieval era that lets you tax your vassals more and makes them like each other less. This gives you an easier time raising crown authority and is meant to reflect how in real life France started drifting towards becoming an absolute monarchy. Far more impressive than this, however, is the Restore Carolingian Borders decision. Should you see yourself as some kind of Napoleon or Charlemagne, you can conquer vast tracts of Central Europe and eventually take the Restore Carolingian Borders decision. This decision instantly gives you primogeniture, and also gives the French culture knighthood and heraldry if they haven't been discovered already. Taking this decision is much easier if you start in 867, as West Francia. It also makes the reward of primogeniture much more powerful in the context of everyone else still being on Confederate partition. Those of you who may have seen my Best Empires video perhaps have noted that I did not actually list Francia as one of the top empires in the game. This is because I consider it more advantageous to create or overthrow the Holy Roman Empire instead, thus giving you the pathway to reform the Roman Empire itself later. But it is undeniable that the Kingdom of France is an excellent title. It has the special content I've already talked about, but it also has several strong duchies like the Duchy of Valois, which has 26 baronies, a university, Notre Dame, and farmlands. Having de jure control over such a large amount of land, this is one of the most powerful kingdoms in Europe, and you can easily use it to become Holy Roman Emperor, or carve up Central Europe for Francia and get the incredible primogeniture succession much ahead of schedule. Moving on to number 2, we have Mesopotamia. Having 20 de jure counties in 1066, this kingdom is absolutely amazing. As you can see, it is absolutely filled with special buildings, most significantly the Baghdad House of Wisdom and a university, which grants it a nice spot of development on the map. But the real reason this kingdom is excellent is floodplains. Offering absolutely massive bonuses to development growth when combined with the agrarian cultural tenet, Mesopotamia is one of the best places to play tall on the map. The only downside to this lovely land is that in each of the start dates it starts off either vassalized to or right next to a much stronger realm. This means you're kind of going to be locked into a playthrough mostly of scheming against your liege or of being unable to expand much. Regardless, it's still a very strong area. It is the cradle of civilization, after all. The only kingdom tier title that could rival the greatness of Mesopotamia is the one at our number 1 spot, Egypt. Egypt has a similar story to Mesopotamia in that it's absolutely full of floodplains. But as a bonus, the culture of Egyptian already starts off with the agrarian cultural tenet. unlike Mesopotamia. Pair this with an excellent scattering of special buildings including a university, and plenty of room for expansion. It's easy to see why this 28 de jure county realm is absolutely excellent. Say you want to unite all of Africa into a single empire. You won't go wrong with Egypt as your primary title. Yes, Egypt is just a very flexible kingdom in which you can play extremely tall in, getting tons of massive development from those floodplains, or to expand out wildly, facing tons of hostile faiths and getting a very wide empire very quickly. And as an added bonus, you've got one holy site each for Ashari, Orthodox, Coptic, and Kushite. Egypt is a kingdom in which you're absolutely spoiled for choice, and so it had to be number 1.